Good morning, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News. Did everyone have a good Super Bowl Sunday? Did everyone make any money betting, gambling? Did you gamble on your digestive system by eating too many hot wings? What's going on out there, folks? Well, I didn't really care who won. I had friends on both sides, so happy to everyone who can enjoy what it feels like to have your team win the Super Bowl, as I have for 6 out of the last 12 years. Okay, folks, something like that. All right, let's get into it. Clayton reveals new book. I'm going to read what he said about his new book. He just dropped some information that he's got a brand new book, which is fantastic. We love Clayton. I think the message he's trying to share with his audience about mental health is a good one. Will this video be as salacious as other content that reveals possible tea and things like that? No, of course not, but that's just the world we live in. You know what I mean? If it bleeds, it leads. But in this case, Clayton's bleeding from his heart as he shares with us his mental health journey, and we appreciate that. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals, and we're going to get into this right now. All right, here it is, folks. Clayton, 8 months later, and I've officially have a book to share with y'all. Let's go to what he said before I read his statement here on his Instagram story. Last night, there he is, having a nice football. Oh, here it is. Okay, let's unmute it, and here, let's have a listen.
Day for me. The book is officially out. I'm currently in a hotel room in South Carolina for an event tonight, but I'm standing up because I am just amped. I would love for you guys to get a copy of this. I'll put the link right here for you all to click. And guys, this book is really just for anybody that maybe has lost some hope, feels alone. This book, I talk about my mental health struggles. I talk about being able to establish self-belief, coming from a place of self-doubt, and how I think that this can help others get to that same place. So super excited for y'all. It took me 8 months, but I finally did it. And I'm just so happy to get this in your all's hands. And thank you so much for all the support.
All right, congratulations to our friend Clayton Echard for writing a book on mental health. Now, look, mental health or the struggle to maintain positive mental health is a struggle that affects everybody. It doesn't discriminate based on race or religion. We all go through issues of self-sabotage. We're all struggling with a world that helps us ruminate in negativity due to social media, divisiveness, and all things like that. So good for him. Of course, coming off of his season of The Bachelor, it was a rough one. He said, I wrote 180 Degrees partly for myself as it was therapeutic to document my mental health journey from childhood up until now. It was long overdue for me to address all the jumbled up thoughts in my head and begin to untangle them little by little. I also created it in hopes of helping others find their own self-love, self-belief, confidence to open up and begin having necessary conversations centered around mental health and, most importantly, a sense of peace that they are not alone. We all face our own struggles, but I believe we stand the best chance at overcoming them when we look at others to help us when we can't do it alone. I hope through my shared stories within this book, you may see there is a brighter path ahead and it's waiting for you to traverse it. That is when you are ready to do so. For those that purchase a copy, I would greatly appreciate it if you could write a review on Amazon. Also, for each copy sold, I'll be donating 50% of the proceeds to a mental health organization. I want to spread my message as far and wide as I can. So if you don't purchase a book but still want to be supportive, please like and share it. Okay, so hey, that's how great. You can go to Clayton's Instagram to buy a copy of this book. He's got it on Amazon, and from the back page he says, every person, correct course, love oneself, love one another. This is from the back side of the album art. Every person to walk this planet has experienced loneliness, doubt, and darkness, but the moments that define our lives beg the question, will we continue to walk in loneliness, doubt, and darkness, or will we slowly make a turn 1 degree at a time and pursue the light? 180 Degrees is about what it means to make that turn. It's not an easy process, and it's definitely not an overnight process, but it is a process that leads to life in the complete opposite of those 3 aforementioned words. Join me in this book as we turn away from darkness and run towards a place where light resides. Clayton Echard is a former NFL football player and reality TV star. When the latter catapulted Clayton into some very dark days, he committed himself to helping others conquer theirs through this book, his career, and in health and wellness. To learn more about Clayton and his quest to help you personally, visit ClaytonEchard.com. Well, congratulations to Clayton. He's not alone on the journey. Bachelor Data compiled this list of alumni who have written books, from Maddie Pruitt to Matt James, Jason Tartick's Restart Roadmap. Look, everyone's got a different thing that they kind of center on. We have got Nick Viall with his sort of dating advice. We've got, like I said, Jason Tarte with financial advice, and some people just kind of autobiographical. Colton Underwood. I believe that he wrote this before he came out of the closet, and then he added a new chapter for that. We bought that book. It made its way to Goodwill. If anyone's into Goodwill and wants it, you can have my copy. Elon Gale. Oh, so many people in the Bachelor world have written books, and good for them. And the talk about your mental health struggle needs to be one that we champion within the community, because it's not. It's still new to discuss these deep, dark things. I wrote a sort of, nice shout out to Kaitlyn Bristowe over the weekend. People had asked me, or I had said, which podcast would people like me to go on to promote Bachelor Rush Hour, my podcast? And of course, a lot of people said Kaitlyn Bristowe's Off the Vine. So I wanted to write everyone a nice message about what I like about what they do. And here's what I said about Kaitlyn. And it, of course, has a lot to do with mental health. Getting on Off the Vine podcast is like getting on Joe Rogan Experience for the Bachelor world, and that I believe it to be the most influential and largest Bachelor podcast out there. It's no mistake. Kaitlyn Bristowe makes her audience feel like they're sitting down right next to her. Most podcasters try and fail to reach through the wires the way Kaitlyn does. Candidly and unapologetically. I'd be on the next flight to Nashville to ever talk shop with her. I'm glad the community has rewarded her raw and humorous style. I think her emotional IQ hides in her Trojan horse of casual convo. You get therapy and friendship in one. The wine slaps too. I always consider the hidden class system in Bachelor Nation, knowing some alumni judge you if you aren't verified or haven't been on the show. Alas, there's a performer-audience relationship that separates alumni from consumer. With that said, I don't get the feeling that Kaitlyn believes that hype. As I found my success in my niche, I've empathized to a much smaller level with the type of DMs, judgment, and ownership that some audiences place over the creator. Now, most are amazing, but I've learned to love how Kaitlyn navigates the world while also keeping to her high moral standards. She's a goddamn saint in our community. And that's what I said about Kaitlyn. She shared it. She said, this is quite literally the most flattering thing anyone has ever said about me. I could cry. Well, I have to say, with complete honesty, it's not just me kissing ass. There are people that go on the show that are touched in a certain way where it changes the course of their lives. Some people are able to use that villain edit they received, or use the slut shaming that it almost felt like the entire nation put on Kaitlyn, or the hate that everyone gave a people pleaser like Clayton. And what are they able to do with that? Look inward and try to be a better version of themselves. That's a powerful thing, folks. So my hope for Clayton and my hope for Kaitlyn and everyone else who's been on the show, keep sharing. Keep discussing these moments where we get to see how much you can actually affect your audience. Not just with the initial tea that comes from, hooking up in the fantasy suite and all the other things, but the much deeper level of how you can affect your audiences by just sharing what it means to be you and overcoming the journey that you're on, your hero's journey. We were on a bunch of podcasts last week, and it's helped us climb the ranks of our podcast channel. So Bachelor Rush Hour is still ranked in the top 10 at number 7 in entertainment news across all of the United States. And plus, we've received some great reviews from you guys. Phil's an insatiable need for Bachelor gossip. Love that it's also a daily podcast. He's spot on with what's going on in Bachelor Nation, and I tend to agree with his views and opinions. Well, this is my new favorite podcast. You are effing fantastic. These reviews are fantastic, so thank you guys all so much for sending me these positive reviews about Bachelor Rush Hour. I did drop a brand new extra bonus episode yesterday, which answered a lot of your questions. I discussed a lot of the inner workings of creating content within the Bachelor community. So if you didn't get that, link in the comment section to go check that out. And also, don't forget, Clayton's new book is for sale, so definitely check that out. If you like it, leave him a nice positive review. Share it with your friends in your Bachelor community. All right, well, I got a lot of content to get to today, so we will be back right after this. We'll see you in a minute.